My wife is the one who introduced me to all these things. So I was not having any technical background.
Professor like who had a teaching background now going into data science.
I got more than 100% of the salary hike, that I can say for sure. More than 130%. It's my passion, you can say. What people make mistake is like first learn Python, then they go to machine learning.
Guys, so far on my channel you have seen different success stories where folks move from the backgrounds like mechanical, electrical, EC, even software engineers who moved into the data science, data engineering and data analyst. We have covered these kind of success stories. But today I have a really different story to cover in this podcast, and I can bet you will enjoy it and you will feel so motivated, because this success story is about a professor. Yes, you heard it right. The professor who was teaching for last 4 years have made a successful transition into the data science and currently working in a really great company with an amazing package too as well. So our guest speaker actually completed his M.Tech, and because of his passion for the teaching, just after completing the M.Tech, he actually moved into this teaching profession. And that is the experience he will be sharing with us today, that what kind of challenges did he face during this transition from the professor kind of job to this data science transition, how he actually prepared himself, what kind of life challenges he faced, did companies raise any kind of concern because of his past experience, how he created his projects, resume, and the most important required skill sets to become a data scientist if you are coming from these kind of backgrounds. So his experience is going to matter a lot for everyone. So make sure you watch it till the very end, and please don't forget to appreciate this story. So make sure to drop a like for this amazing story, and if you have anything to share with us, your amazing stories, then feel free to put it in the comment section. So let's aim for 2500 likes here. I know you guys will complete it, and I will give a heart to each and every comment which I feel is very interesting to read. So now be creative. So thank you so much, Nipun, for joining me in this podcast. And I'm really excited. Finally, a very different kind of podcast, that too with a professor who is now actually working as a data scientist. So it would be really great if you can give a short introduction to the audience and anything about your past academic background, professional background, Nipun.
Sure. So first of all, thank you so much, Shashank, for inviting me to the podcast. It's really great. So coming to my journey, I have completed my M.Tech in energy engineering from 𝗪𝗔𝗀𝗃 in the year 2017. Before that, I have graduated in electrical engineering. So after that, I have joined as assistant professors into and teaching. Since 4 years, I have been in the academics, teaching and research, all those works. So last year, I decided to move into the data science, and that's how. And currently, I'm working as an associate data scientist in 𝗵𝗶𝘶.
Professor like who had a teaching background now going into data science. Definitely amazing story. So moving on to the next question, as you mentioned, you completed your M.Tech in energy engineering, and I think it would be a non-CS field, right? And most important part, like you completed it from a Tier 1 college, right? NIT Trichy, it comes in the Tier 1 part. So after that, straight away you went into teaching as an assistant professor. So how did it happen? And why teaching profession that time, and why didn't you even think about moving into the industry or your core branch jobs? What was the thought behind it?
Okay. So coming to my journey, so while I was doing my BTech at that time, only I decided I'll be doing research and going to the M.Tech side. I prepared for the gate, and then we got admission to the NIT Trichy. During my journey throughout my BTech and M.Tech, what I really find interesting is I want to teach and teach concepts, and in delivery mode I'll be there. So it's it's my passion, you can say. It's a teaching, and it's not like it happened just now, some company came, and so I said for the companies which were recruiting for the teaching positions. So in NIT Trichy I got campus selection, but at that time I was not sure whether to join or not. But after that, what happens is there's a program from Ministry of Human Resource Development called technical education quality improvement program. So they were hiring grads from NITs and IITs for teaching in the government engineering colleges in India. So that thing, I thought like, yeah, that will be a good opportunity for me. So like it will be making an impact to the society as well, and making the really tech faculties for 3 years. If you search about it, they have got accreditation for almost all the engineering colleges where we are placed, all the NIT and the IIT grads. So at that time, that was the main reason for joining in the education field.
So very noble thought, first of all, I would say. And teaching is something which is all about passion, right? I don't think so randomly people tend to join into the teaching profession, because you have to be enthusiastic, you have to have that kind of passion, and it definitely completely visible at your face. And anyone who is pretty much passionate about teaching, or as a teacher you think that what kind of impact you can create, then feel free to tag your mentors, your teacher who changed your life in the comment section, and let us know your experiences about teaching, the passion, whatever you have. Recently you have joined AB and Bev as an associate data scientist. So after this long journey as a professor, when and how did you realize to switch into data science, right? And I think when you would have taken that decision, or you would have discussed it with someone, maybe your family, friends, or any external person. So how did everybody in your circle react to this decision that, dude, government teacher, and still you are just looking for this data science or going into corporate world? What was their reactions?
So that's a really great question, Shashank. Even everyone in my circle asked this when I decided to do that. So it's all about the journey as my journey as an assistant professor. So in my M.Tech and even in my institute where I was working, there I was doing for research on most of the technologies were related to forecasting and the prediction of the solar PV, solar forecasting like that, and the energy predicted. So from there I got to interest in machine learning and the data science algorithms are helping here. We can explore those, and while exploring I really got interested in data science. I explored the domain, so I was not having any technical background. Python is my first programming language, you can see from that. So that's how it so that journey, I would say, is like a mix of both the things. Here the project was getting ended. There was some misconfusion between the central government and the state governments regarding faculties. So that also pushed me, okay, I have to take a decision here. I have to either do a PhD or focus myself on the research side, or if I really want to make a difference to the industry or wanted to solve a real world problem. So while I was working as an assistant professor there, it's great. You get to teach folks, and you can nurture them and so on. But there was a stagnation which I was feeling. There was no such growth that I was feeling. So the interest was keep on getting decreasing. So I took the decision last year. So I want to make a move, and let's take a move. So everybody in my circle was supportive, my family, my wife, everyone. My wife is the one who introduced me to all these things. So wow. Super happy for that.
Great. So yeah, support system is something which is really important when you make this kind of decision, right? So somebody has to be there, and really great to hear that your wife supported you in this cause, and she introduced you to this data part. I think best decision. And I know a lot of people will be having these kind of stories where they had a different thought, but somebody introduced themselves to a different thing. So if you also have that kind of stories, and if you feel so to tag your support systems, feel free to do it in the comment section. Your friend, mom, dad, best friend, girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, husband, whosoever it is, just do that. So how did you start preparing for your data science journey when you made your 100% mind that okay, I'll go for it? So please explain what all things you studied step by step. How much difficulty did you face while learning those skill sets, because you had no prior background in tech or programming or anything. So please share all those things.
So it's not one day you decide to become a data scientist or the data analyst and you become one. It's not like that. So people nowadays what I'm seeing is like people are so much amazed by okay, that much salary we are getting, or for that much that is. But the kind of hard work you have to devote, and the kind of dedication you have to give, that most of the people they will not continue their journey after a few months, 2 or 3 months. So that was the main thing. I kept on learning, and so when I decided starting, I have to start. So I have followed YouTube and so many other blogs. So from there I have seen that there should be a structured approach towards going towards it, because our data science domain is a C. But we don't know what to study, how to study, and how much to study for getting a job role and all that. So that was so much confusing at that time. So at that time I decided to go for a do a dedicated course or a boot camp like that. So while researching about that, I came to know about the Odin School. That's one of the very good platform. I would recommend everyone to see their curriculum, and also their focus was to teach the grad that much so that they will be able to be placed. And it's not like you can dump CNN, deep learning, and all those concepts at a start. So they will be teaching, and what I liked is they will be teaching from the basic scratch Python, and I have talked so much to their team. I have no prior background and I am coming from this education field, so will it be helpful? So they really convinced me. I joined the bootcamp, and since then it was a great experience with Odin School. So there I was first module which I learned was Python. So that module was quite challenging for me. It's not everyone can come up can do programming in one day. It's like swimming. You have to keep on doing it, and then you can someday master it. So after that, the Odin School curriculum was really good. There were projects, and every weekend we used to have class, and then in class assessment after the end of the class, whatever we have studied in the class, after that we will be given assignment and the project real world based projects. So that was the overall structure for every week. And these there were different modules which I studied, like Python, EDA, and then SQL, then statistics, word descriptive stat, inferential stats. And this might seem a mix of all the things, but they have introduced it in such a way that all the things are linked, and I was able to follow.
So just a quick follow-up question. I think you mentioned that part, right? Python looked very challenging to you in the beginning because you had no background. So if you want to highlight, right, in a short answer, what all important skill sets, tech skill set, actually helped you to crack your data science job? Whatever, if it were 3, 4, 5 skill set in combined, yes, these things definitely help me to land into a job.
So coming to my role at there are different verticals. We have data analyst and the data scientist. So when I didn't get this job, so that time I was trying for both analyst and the scientist. So but I would recommend everyone not to do that. Select a path, and then go based on your path. You will have different skill set required. Like for data analyst, I don't think machine learning that much plays an important role, but SQL, and then your Python, SQL, and then any visualization tool, Power BI, all the Tableau will do. And if you have SAP, that will add and Excel, obviously advanced Excel. So for the data analyst part, these are things I have prepared. And after that, for data scientist, I would recommend first go through the basic statistics, because that is really important. Statistics in both descriptive and the inferential statistics. It's not like you have to dive very deep into it at the start, but you have to have an understanding of variance and all the terms which you are going to use in. After gradually, like what people make mistake is like first learn Python, then they go to machine learning. I would recommend them to like first start with the stats and then go to the machine learning side. And machine learning side also don't try to master all the algorithms that are there. First master at least 3, like for in both the supervised and unsupervised. That will be good. Linear, logistic, that are the base, and so many concepts are there that are related to those. So that I think is my main thing. And what I focused is like in the interview with 𝗵𝗶𝗵 also, SQL is like important and stats is really important.
Pretty awesome. I think this was very, very insightful, and our audience would have got a really good idea that if they want to kickstart their journey as a data scientist, what all things they need to focus on priority and in a proper sequence. And since you mentioned the ordinary school part, so definitely I'll provide the link in the description box as well, so you can check the new batches for the data science bootcamp. Link will be in the description. Definitely check that out. So during your interviews and even while applying for a job, did companies raise any concern for your past teaching background? What kind of challenges basically did you face to get your first data science job? Because everybody would have been looking for experienced candidate, might be, or some really great projects or some company tags in the past, but you had nothing. So how did it actually happen for you?
What I felt over the experience of my job hunting is like one, if you have a skill set, it might be late you get a job, but you will get a job, you will get an opportunity for sure. But if you have a right kind of a skill set with you, so it's not like you will get like shortlisted for if you apply for 5 companies, you will get shortlisted for 2 or 3. You have to apply for 50 to 100 of the hundreds of the company. I can tell you from my experience, most of the applications which I sent, all the applied, like where I thought, okay, this might be a great fit for me. Okay, this skills, this job description looks good for me, so that should be great. But there I was not shortlisted. So it's not about like they will shortlist, and the folks there, those who are having the career switch, for those it will be like you have to see your journey like you are not that person anymore. You are transitioning, you are getting the skill sets. So what I did was like in my while preparing my resume, I have created some proof of concept projects that are related to the data science, that are totally related to the data science, but that I did as a part of my like journey, and that showcase them in my projects. So apart from that, from normal like for a normal candidate, you have to be giving your at least 20 to 30% extra, but it's not impossible. Like you can do it, but it might take time, and it will take extra efforts for sure.
In these many years of your professional journey, so how much has your salary grown? Because I have idea about the tech salaries, right? How people start. I don't have any idea about, okay, after doing the M.Tech, how much salary you can get as an assistant professor in good colleges. So how much has your salary grown starting from your first job as a professor till now, and how much were you earning earlier, and after moving into data science, how much has it increased?
I joined as assistant professor in my initial days, so that was a great opportunity. So usually assistant professor don't get that much at the starting, but what happened is like since we are from the central government project, so we get at par with the assistant professor, which the like all the central universities were getting. So at that time it was around 8.5 LPA something.
Wow,
and
8.5.
yeah.
Definitely
Yeah, that's that is one of the motivating factor at that. But the thing is, like after joining, I was not able to grow as that much. So over the past 3 years, I have not grown that much, which one would like to have. Or you can say it's a good growth what you are saying. So here the system is quite different. It's a fixed fixed increment which you are getting, and it's not like the based on your performance or the potential you will be getting raised or something like that. So in the government institution there is a fixed salary band or the fixed pays which you are getting. So that was okay, but yeah, coming to my current, like it was great. I got more than 100% of the salary hike, that I can say for sure, more than 130%. So yeah, that's.
So I have just one last question for you, Nipun, and that will be the end of our podcast. So how do you feel about interviews for a data science role? Because for you, the journey was different, challenge was different. After coming from such kind of background, how easy or difficult will it be for others to crack data science interviews? And it would be really great if you can share your interview experience round by round, right? What happened with you? That will also give a great insight to the audience that, okay, after this much of experience, or if I'm coming from this background, that's how my interview is going to be.
So for data science interviews, what I can say is like it is difficult. It is not or and also it also depends on the job description and the job role you are applying for, like for and where you are getting shortlisted. So I'll try to break down this question in two parts, like how difficult it is to get an interview call. That is pretty difficult, I will say. Like it's not that easy to, but it is easy if you kept on applying. If you daily applying for a job, you will get like calls for sure in 1 week of time. But it's not like that. If you are sitting with your resume and recruiter should contact you, or the LinkedIn, you are just messaging some. You have to do the cold emails. You have to approach some persons which you are finding. So that is there. Getting an interview call is difficult. But if you have mastered the skill set, data science interviews, what I have seen is like people mostly face difficulties. Even I faced the difficulties in the deployment section. So for data scientist role, so that is one thing. And you have to learn from your experiences. Like from my initial experiences, I got to know like no, only doing the project is not sufficient. It has to be end to end implemented, deployed. So end-to-end deployment should be there, and so I learned those concepts on my own. I did that, so that is there. Coming to my AB InBev job interview, it was really good. Like they gave me the opportunities, and like they were super supportive. So I faced 3 rounds there. First round was most of the technical rounds. Last round was the manager, the one with the director. That was the techno manager. But all the both the initial 2 rounds are technical rounds. So in the technical, they started with Python, and both the interviews was like for 1 hour. And in Python, they straight away asked some OOPS concepts and like all those things. After that, they moved to like EDA and some missing values and all those things. Stats. After that, stats, we had quite a good discussion on like bias variance trade-off and all those things. There were different statistical approaches what we can follow, and I don't know how we connected stats with the machine learning, and suddenly we were dealing with the machine learning questions. So that's how it was for the first round. And after that, SQL was also there. Like they asked some SQL, basic SQL queries, not in depth. Like you should be able to draw some like data from the database. You should be able to filter out the data, use the datetime function, and that's all for SQL. After that, second thing I will say is like in the second round, it was more of a kind of high level round where some live coding was there, and after that some SQL queries, and after that machine learning. So whatever the different algorithms there, they talked about some deployment also. And last 20 minutes I would say was dedicated for the case studies, where I was given the case study and I have to solve the case study. Just explain what will be my approach in that situation. And so in the last round, what happened is like something related to the production and the deployment, how the code is maintained in the production, and how it is like after deployment, we're going to tackle those situations. So I was not having that kind of experience because, as you know, I'm coming from a different background, and so that thing I was not able to do. But the rest all the things was like if you go through all the like concepts, it will be not that much difficult interview wise. But getting an interview call might be difficult, but interview I don't think that might be that much difficult.
That's a great experience and very insightful part you shared with the audience, that okay, what all things happen with you in the interviews, so it will give them an idea that what kind of things these companies are actually looking for. So overall, very amazing, Nipun. I would say, first of all, hats off to your journey, right? The decisions you made for your great future, and the way you transition from that assistant professor job to the data science role, and that too in the product based company. So really amazing, whatever experience you have shared, whatever insights and experiences you have shared with our audience, that is going to help them a lot. So thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your experience with us.
Thank you so much, Shashank. It was really great interacting with you, and like you gave me this opportunity to interact with your audience. I have seen like your podcast. I have been following and keeping myself more motivated. It was great experience, and thank you so much for inviting me.
So that's what I had for you guys in this podcast. I'm pretty sure you would have enjoyed this amazing career transition from professor to data scientist. And if you enjoyed it and you also feel motivated, then feel free to hit the like button and smash the subscribe button as well. I will see you guys in the next week with another amazing podcast. Till then, just keep exploring data.